Welcome to the Sci-Fi Center, the place to be, where comic books and wrestling collide magically. Movies, TV shows, and pop culture we share. Get ready to rock, we're here to take you there. From superheroes to aliens in outer space, we've got the latest news and reviews in our embrace.
Happy Thursday. Wasn't sure if I was going to be streaming tonight, but I had some energy left. Ooh, today was a long day getting ready for next week, which is WrestleMania week. For those of you who have followed the show, know I'm a huge wrestling fan. Not the biggest fan of WWE, but the cool thing about having WrestleMania in your home or my adopted hometown is that there's a whole lot of other independent wrestling events that are happening, including one that I am hosting. If you're in the Las Vegas area, I will be hosting our own wrestling event here at the Sci-Fi Center, 7 p.m. start time. Doors open at 6. I'll have some more advertisement. We're going to feature it over the weekend, by the way, and we're going to see if we can get some of the performers on the on our Saturday show. So yeah, it's open topic tonight. Not a lot went on today. I know the Matt Reeves situation popped up. I don't feel we this is something that had been hinted earlier before, and we didn't really want to go into it because it was a rumor. It still is a rumor, but if that's true, then like I said, people need to shut the fuck up about worrying about the Batman Part 2. My goodness, every time that there's a slight delay and something happens, everybody pushes the panic button, and it's like, my goodness, what is, geez. So hopefully it doesn't sound like it's life-threatening, anything like that, from according to what people were reporting, but it's a private issue. His health is a private issue unless he decides he wants to go public with it. I don't see it as a story on this show other than what we've already talked about. When Matt Reeves goes public with any issues like that, then that's when we will. Otherwise, it's a medical issue, which by definition means it's a private issue. And until he's, if he said something about it and I have missed it, then let me know. But other than that, that's really all I'm gonna have to say about that. Rational Skeptic, thank you for the $5 super chat. If Matt Reeves is indeed going through a personal thing in his life, it's best for Batman Part 2 to halt production and give Matt. Yeah, and that's fine. I mean, like I was saying last night, the Batman 2 is going to be ready for all involved when they're ready to do it. Robert Pattinson doing Dune is, I mean, him doing a movie like Dune anyway, regardless of what's going on, if that's when it's going, it's not going to hurt the Batman 2. Batman 2 is going to happen when the Batman 2, happens. But I would not want Robert Pattinson passing down a possible Oscar, role, depending on how featured he is in this movie for the Batman. Sorry, I love the Batman, but being in Dune Part 3, part of a trilogy that may take home a bunch of trophies, including one for him, potentially, I'll wait for the Batman 2. But yeah, people really need to give him space one way or another. Like I said, I don't know his situation. I've heard the rumors, and we decided, long ago that we weren't going to bring it up on the show until any of those things have been substantiated by Matt Reeves themselves. They have not been that I know of. Like I said, send me a link or something like that if you've seen something. Otherwise, as far as I know, he has not disclosed if it's him, a family member, or who, what, where, and when. So I'm gonna wait on that one. Let me go back up. So thank you for the super chat, Rational. No, I think the rumors that James Gunn is canceling the Batman are stupid. I don't think A, he's going to do it, and B, that's not going to be. Warner Brothers Discovery was happy enough with the Batman's box office to want another stab at it. I think that if I think he might play a part in that one way or another, which I don't think he's going to do. But I think that Warner Brothers Discovery, I don't think they want to cancel that. And hence, I don't think it's getting canceled. And there's no reason for it to be canceled, to be honest with you. Hello, Aaron. How are you doing? I don't know who Chris Wozniak is, and is that the guy? Oh, that's the dude who didn't he sued? Listen, okay, Chris Wozniak had his day in court. Didn't he lose that lawsuit? And that's another thing I never brought up on here because that was a completely ridiculous thing. What a wonderful day finding out. Yeah, I never thought the Oscars were going to do stunts. I think stunts are an art form. Hold on, let me fix this mic. stunts are an art form that should be recognized, but I never thought that the Oscars would do it, and I am happy to be wrong about that. Yeah, happy to be wrong about that. There's some people who put their lives on the line to bring you entertainment. It's about time to get credit. I'm okay with that. Karma doesn't mean shit. I mean, he had, if I recall right now, he had his day in court. And that has nothing to do with Superman. That's just, come on now. That's never going to happen, so you don't have to worry about it. Hello, Clint. How you doing? Yeah, no Sister Kim's. That's a problem. I texted her and told her, "What do you want me to do? Starve?" They're going to be there for a little bit. They have an event. They have a catering event that they've been hired for. As soon as I saw Sister Kim's was going to be closed tomorrow, I texted her. I'm like, hey, "Is everything okay?" And yeah, she said she had an event. The rumor is that there's health issues. I don't know enough to go any further than that, but there are rumors. They have not been substantiated by Matt Reeves himself, so I really am not going to discuss them on the show any further than I already have. And no, why would I do that? What's the rush? What's the rush? I would, they want Matt Reeves on it. He wants to do it, in whatever circumstances, and when they get past those circumstances, they'll get it done. Once again, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and skip past the Matt Reeves rumor stuff. I'm not TMZ. I'm not a sleaze page. I'm not a rumor page. I'm just gonna go ahead and skip those. Sorry, I just don't have any. If I don't have a legitimate answer for you that I won't look like a jackass for echoing some other rumor, then I'm just not going to do it. So sorry, I'm just going to skip those. All right. So anything else that's not sleaze or rumors or or unsubstantiated bullshit. I mean, I just don't. There's plenty of other channels that do that. It's a waste of my time to do it. I don't even partake in a lot of that stuff. Even as a viewer, I kind of skip a lot of that. So, all right, well, let's bring up something relevant. So I'm gonna bring up this. I saw a I can't find it now. Damn it! I found the teaser for Millie Acock's costume. Um, very accurate to Tom King's Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, with the exception of the S, which I hate. I'm trying to find the one that somebody tagged me in. I did. Here we go. This is the one that guy. I don't know how official this is, but judging from the one step photo that I did see, this is going to be the only one that you guys see on here because all the other ones pretty much. I don't know how accurate that is, but if it is, I'm okay with it. I could care less whether she's wearing a skirt or pants. She's worn both in the storyline that's being adapted. She wears both. She wears pants by the end of the story. The skirt thing for me is not a big issue. If I were designing a female superhero, or using a female superhero in a 2025 story, I'm not a big skirt guy. If you look at most of the female superheroes of the the 50s, 60s, and 70s, they had skirts because of the way, be honest with you, female superheroes were perceived from 1950 something all the way up till now. skirts as they were associated with women were a symbol, and I don't think you need that in 2025. I would be, but at the same time, modern day Supergirl does wear a skirt. So, but if it were me, it wouldn't matter one way or another. Obviously, that logo is most likely what's going to be on her chest simply because that's the logo of the house, of L. And if it's in Superman, then it's going to be in Supergirl. I hate that logo, unless it's on Kingdom Come. And other than that, recognizable Supergirl. I'm looking forward to that one. Not excited about it yet. I will probably get excited as we get closer to it. But Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow is one of the better Supergirl stories written, period. If you have not read it, this is sort of the inspiration for her story. So hopefully you get a guy. Like I said, pick it up at your comic store. You don't have to buy the issues if you don't want to. You can get it in a very, very economical trade paperback. Now you're talking about the different thing when you're talking about an actor. When you're talking about the director that's going to give the entire operation the look and feel that made you successful at the beginning, it's a little bit different. And B, this guy's not dead. And like I said, it's knock on wood that nothing happens to him. But Chadwick Boseman had passed on. The choice was obvious there. Matt Reeves is still alive. You can work with his schedule depending on what the issue is. It depends on if they. Okay, so the question right now is that what would you do to have Xavier work in Doomsday? It depends on what, it's going to be, obviously it's going to be Patrick Stewart, but is it the one from the X-Men universe we know? Is it a variant? So it all depends on that. That's a big determining factor. I mean, with his powers, I could see him, obviously, being somebody who could read the minds of certain people and be able to identify certain aspects that are there that normal people can't see. Just being old Professor X, just a standard Professor X would be enough for me. Sinners is already up. Sinners. Those of you who are in the Las Vegas area, I will be starting to run promos on this. We are running out of theater next Saturday. It's going to be it's supposed to be a busy weekend because that's WrestleMania weekend. I'm already doing. I'm going to be at WrestleCon during the day, getting my belt signed, and then I'm going to be. We're going to be watching Sinners that afternoon. We're going to invite some of our customers to see it. So I will be seeing it. I will be waiting to see it next Saturday, even though it gets released Thursday. I will be at TNA Unbreakable. And the Wednesday prior, I will be hosting my own event, and then I'm going to an indie event on Friday, and then WrestleCon on Friday and Saturday. So, man, I'm not going to get a lot of sleep. It's going to be at Comic-Con. But yeah, I just from the trailers alone had me in for Sinners. What's the deal with Brave and the Bold and? The Brave and Bold Machete production can't start until Reeves' trilogy is done. That's not true. I don't know why he would say that. It's just not true at all. One has nothing to do with the other. They can start production. Well, now their release date might be staggered, but they can start production. I still think we are quite a bit away from Batman Brave and the Bold, because you have Superman. You have right after that's going to be Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. And then you have Lanterns in production. So I don't know. They haven't really given a release date for Brave and the Bold yet. So I think we're about 2 years away from that even being relevant. I have heard nothing to substantiate those rumors, and I wouldn't, like I said. Once again, guys, when the word rumor comes into whatever you're about to ask me, realize you just on this show alone, we can chase our tails till we get dizzy and throw up on ourselves. It's just, it's just not it's not a good stable platform to to even comment on. I mean, now if you know, and plus something like ask yourself where are these rumors coming from. You know, I haven't heard anything like that. And even if they did, it wouldn't really matter because you'd get that 20 minutes on the re-release anyway. But it doesn't matter. I mean, we're starting to get into things that don't really involve us. We are not part of the production, and all we have is rumors. So I would stay away from that right now. I haven't heard anything credible by that by Hunter Iggy. I haven't heard anything credible, and like I said, this is the point where I will kind of withdraw from the Superman conversation because we're close enough now to where a whole lot of dumb shit is going to hit the internet, and half of it's going to be bullshit. So. Xavier's not omnipotent though. He can be beat himself. I mean, I'm not quite sure what you're asking me right now. Go ahead and clarify. Yeah, and I'm gonna pass on that. Yeah, Carrie TV show. Yeah, nah. Somebody had a Transformer question. Brad William. Brad will not be here tonight. Do you guys believe that the Transformer franchise is completely dead? For now, it's not completely dead, but it's on life support. No, I just think you need time in between movies. I think I think this is one of those franchises that kind of needs to be put to rest for a little bit. Yeah, I'm thinking. Well, like I said, there's that's pretty much from what I saw. That's pretty much it. But yeah, I'm I love that story. I love Tom King's an advisor. He's an executive producer on it, so they're going right with the guy. They're going right with the guy that wrote that story. So I'm happy there. There's not even has nothing to do with progressiveness. It's the same reason why I don't necessarily, none of the what most primary top tier superheroes that I know of that I watch and that I see in comic books who don't wear skirts because it's a dated thing. I mean, how many? I mean, think about it. How many superheroines wear skirts? It's the same reason why when I pick up a Luke Cage comic, I don't need to see an afro, sideburns, and a butterfly collar unbuttoned down to his sternum. So it has nothing to do with being progressive. It's just dated style. I mean, and for me, like like I said, when these characters created, they were created in a different time and era where that worked. We're not in 1956 anymore, or wherever she was created. I saw something like that, something kind of chaos going on after Minecraft, people throwing chickens or popcorn at it, whatever. What's going on? You're gonna have to explain that to me on that one. Let's see. Somebody sent me a message. What did you send me? I did not get your message, Hunter. Let me refresh my screen. I didn't get your message. You might want to try resetting that there. Or unless you okay, did you send me it? Okay, you sent it to me. Yeah, I haven't got it. I'm gonna let her know. I'm gonna let her know if she's in Vegas. That's possible. That'd be something kind of cool if you were able to keep that a secret and surprise us with it. That our IPs that I'm interested in, Sinners. Now, upcoming this year? Most of the movies that I am interested in, I'm a franchise guy, so I am their target audience. Um, yeah, there's not too many ones that are not sequels or part of an IP because I look where I'm coming at you from. I mean, comic book nerd. The whole thing is franchises and IPs. I mean, even the stuff I watch, Star Trek, that's an IP. I can't. That's actually a hard question for me, Porth, because I'm an IP guy. You said something about a mango, which I don't know why. Something that's not AI. That's fan art. Yeah, but go ahead and look at the. There's actually. I'm not going to put it up here because I don't want to get a strike. There's when you look at this, there's actually a set photo. That's the outfit, as far as I know. The set because if you look at the set photo, that's the outfit. Now, if it's a fake set photo, it doesn't appear to be. Then yeah, but otherwise, I am guessing that that's what it looks like. They could. You're talking about the Phil KO spot? Yeah, that definitely. Um, Oma Femi, Chick Williams. It could be. It could be. I don't think it's going to be Sammy. I think those other two you named could be. People I've never heard of come out of the woodwork that say the Snyder fans to try to build that audience to their channels and then hate on James Gunn going. Well, I mean, like I said, and a lot of people built their channels up that way, though. I mean, during the whole, release the Snyder Cut campaign. Now it's to the point where, people are, they'll try to build their numbers by putting like Zack Snyder in tears or something like that, or just poking, Snyder fans and just to agitate them. And then you got, that's how they build numbers. That's how they get clicks. I mean, I'm just, you know what? I'm not even going to criticize them. That's how they, they pay their bills and how they pay for their channel. I'm just not, I just don't want to be involved in that. Once again, how many modern, superheroes? You named two. And that one was created in 1941. And she doesn't always wear a skirt, by the way. In fact, in many interpretations of Wonder Woman, she's not wearing a skirt. You and this Megan, my God, are you being paid? Yeah, I am not an Invincible fan. I'm not a fan of the show or the comic. I just not. There's just nothing that really appealed to me. But. Yeah, once again, Golden Age. Jean Grey has a skirt. Well, if you look at the modern interpretations of Jean Grey now, for the most part, I know in Krakoa she had the skirt on for a little bit, but they were harkening back to that era. But for the most part, most of your modern day superheroes are not wearing skirts. People, William, are celebrating on Twitter due to Sinners getting 100% Rotten Tomato score. You guys know how I feel about Rotten Tomatoes and Cinema Score. But we will all know that Zaslav only cares about money, which is, to be honest with you, that's whether, Rotten, in this particular case, Rotten Tomatoes isn't going to determine necessarily whether the film's a success. Look at Minecraft got a B, and usually a B is not good for Cinema Score, according to, everybody who's talked to me about it. And Minecraft is making good money. So, yeah. I know Ryan Coogler will have no problem getting hired at Warner Brothers. Well, like we discussed last night, that's where the money is for him right now. That's where the volume is. Like I said when we were talking last night, you can make the profit margin argument, but without volume in film, profit margin doesn't mean anything. That's why he said that. That's why he knows that, and that's actually for where Warner Brothers is right now. That's the right answer. Oof, it was a hot one today. Oh, you bought a manga okay, what did you buy? Sorry, I missed that. And Antonio Baker and Zaslav got a lot more things to worry about because if Coyote movie does well, he's going to be looking. Nah, if Coyote does well, he's going to. That's a win for him. That's a win for him. He's already made his money back on that one. He's already made his investors' money back on that. Doesn't matter what it does beyond there. He got his company out of the liability for that. If it makes money, great. That means you'll be able to. That gives you more leverage to sell another IP or another film, right? If you need to, because look how it turned out. Either way, he came out ahead. Nobody's going to fire you for coming out ahead. They're going to fire you for losing money, which is what would have happened if they released it and if they would have paid for it and if they would have distributed it. He got his company off the hook. So that's not a bad thing for him. I don't think this is going to happen, but how would you save DC emergency style if Superman fails at the box office and reviews? Well, what do you think? What I do? Or I mean, if it fails at the box office, there's not going to be much to salvage or save. So, what I think they're going to do, I think they're going to license out portions of their universe and give people limited permission to do certain things. They get paid up front, and it's up to the Apples and the Amazons and the Netflixes or whatever to risk their asses on it. But I think you're going to go a long break. Before you see if this were to fail, and I don't think it's going to, before you see Warner Brothers actually, be the producers of it. You will see these movies. You will see your Batmans and your Supermans and all that other stuff, but you will not. It will be because somebody else signed a limited licensing agreement so that Warner Brothers gets their money. No matter what happens with that agreement, what happened with that IP, the Warner Brothers gets paid. They are making a profit no matter what. And then what they'll do is they'll maintain the distribution. So if they were to some other company, Apple wants to do a Superman movie or something like that, Warner Brothers will maintain the distribution. So if it goes to home video, if it goes anywhere else and makes money on top of the licensing fee, which automatically makes it profitable, they continue to make money because they'll own the distribution because they will have still owned the IP. I think that's where you're going to go if Superman were to fail. But like I said, I don't think we're there yet with that. I don't think we're going to get there. The Kamala that I see on my shelves wears pants. She has that little skirtling thing, but she's got pants too. Starlight is a parody of the era. Like I said, you look at your modern day superheroes though. They're not wearing skirts. I mean, it's She wears, what is that? The current Wonder Woman or Gal Gadot wears. It's a skirt, but it's like that gladiatorish type of thing she's got on. Some of the well, if you look at Wonder Woman, I mean, most of the time, Wonder Woman is not wearing a skirt. I mean, in most of her she does have some outfits where she does, but for the most part, Wonder Woman is and this is Wonder Woman throughout the nearly 90-year history. Now you have something like that, but that's a skirt, but that's really, you know, and then you have what Gal was doing right there. But for the most part, if you look at, there's something from the 19, this is okay. So this is Wonder Woman from 1941. If you guys can see on the side there, you see that that's the original one. That's 1941. That's her first look. So really, for the most part, Wonder Woman, predominantly wears what you see there. I mean, but wait, if Supergirl's wearing a skirt, I don't see a huge issue. But if somebody wanted to put her in pants, I don't see a huge issue. I saw some dumb stuff on the internet. We won. She's gonna wear a skirt. I'm like, what did you win? What is she wears both in Wonder Woman, not Wonder Woman, Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. There's been, but if somebody wants to make a modern interpretation of her, I wouldn't mind that. I didn't mind Sasha Kai's. The outfit, like I said, with any of these costumes, if the story is not any good, it doesn't matter what she's wearing. Yeah, I was telling you before I had some Van Helsing at the store. All right. Modern era, fourth. Modern era. You could technically say Supergirl is not a modern era, but even to your point, so what? She wears a skirt because of the era that she came from, Mary Marvel, 1940s, dude. We're not in the 1940s anymore. So if somebody wanted to take a modern interpretation of her, I wouldn't bother. Well, once again, if she wears a skirt, it wouldn't bother me. If I were doing it, she wouldn't be wearing one, but it's not my movie. This is delayed, but I just showed you that. Yeah. Yeah, there's a movie about the guy who no, I promise you I'm not wearing a skirt. Well, Spider-Man, I mean, he's an icon of Marvel, and Batman it's been that way, since they reformed Batman in the mid 80s. Yeah, what was that, Mrs. Maisel, or whatever, Mrs. Marston and the Women, or something like that? No, we didn't raise we didn't raise the money we needed to for me to wear a skirt. I put it out there, and I gave you guys 2 weeks, and nobody did it. All right, guys, got anything else? Because, like I said, this is just a short burst of energy for me. I will most likely not be on tomorrow night, so I figure the next time you're going to see me is on Saturday. Saturday for our night, we're going to be talking Absolute Batman #6, which is an absolutely horrific version of Mr. Fees. They went wow. If you guys haven't read Absolute Batman #6, or the 6 or 7, I think it is 7. I'm saying, they introduced their version of Mr. Fees, and it's creepy as fuck. So we're gonna be talking some comics on Saturday. I'll have a music topic more than likely. That's about it. Probably gonna be a short show. I'll probably bring on some independent wrestlers on, given we're rolling right into WrestleMania week, and I want to highlight that. So I don't think I don't think either one of them are gonna fail to that level again. And B, I don't think even if they were, they'd be that desperate. I mean, like I said, that was a desperate Hail Mary. So, that's hilarious. You're replacing Chuck Cage with the jokes, huh? Not yet. I think if it continues, Ricochet's heel turn will be worthy of a title. Not yet, though. I think he needs more time, but he's up there, though. He's getting up there, and I love what they're doing with him. Yeah, all skin and bones and frail looking, and just kind of ghoulish. He looks like that. There's something, some kind of nightmarish thing. Kind of cool. I love Ricochet. Have you been watching his stuff lately, Antonio? All right, guys. I think that's it for me tonight. I didn't have much to talk about, but I knew there was going to be a gap in between last night's show and Saturday. I didn't want to go 2 days without talking to you all if I could avoid it. And I have enough energy to do so. So thank you guys for being here. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you for the support. Thank you for watching, liking, sharing, and continuing to slowly build this channel up to the monster, the titan it will be someday. It's going to take a long time. Like I said, in comparison to some of the stuff I see on YouTube, I'm boring, but that's fine. I'm going to do this, our way and having the conversations I want to have. So I will see you guys Saturday night, the very latest. Might see me Saturday afternoon, but more than likely no. All right, see you guys later.